All right, we're going to kind of quickly review what we did yesterday a little bit. And again, I do think the radicals is easy. It is a new way, though, for writing numbers. All right, something you're a little bit unfamiliar with. But after you do it a while, it'll be just as familiar as if you were just writing a regular number. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So again, listen, I need your attention. All right, the first are obvious. All right, but what I want to do here is the perfect squares. You should know the first perfect squares. All right, which I think most of you do. You can fill this in, 36, right? And then 7 squared is 49, 64, 121, and then 12 squared. And because I would prefer 13 squared, you should know is 169, 14 squared is 196, and 15 squared is 225. And you probably should be able to identify all the way up to 20. But I always used to tell kids, if you don't know those, it's just 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared. So we understand that. Very easy to come up with those numbers if you don't know them. All right? Now, here is where we have a new topic. All right? X squared is a perfect square. Why is x squared a perfect square? Because x times x is what? X squared. So what we do is we say this. We say the square root of x squared is what? X. What is the square root of x to the 4th? And what is the square root of x to the 6th? All right. That's where people start making mistakes now. All right. So what do you think the pattern is when you want to take the square root of a variable? What do? I'm going from 6 to 3, 4 to 2, and 2 to 1. What am I doing? Subtract half, or just tell me I'm, just dividing by 2. All right? That's all we're doing is dividing by 2. So if we continue the pattern, the next one would be x to the 8th and then x to the 10th. All right? So exponents, in order for them to be a perfect square, the exponents must be what? Even. Yeah, the exponents must be even. Now notice, x to the 16th. What is the square root of x to the 16th? Very good. X to the 8th, not x to the 4th. That is a common mistake. All right? Now, let's get down to a reviewing kind of what we did yesterday. Let's just come over here. What's the square root of 100? 10. What's the square root of 49? What's the square root of y to the 10th? And what's the square root of a squared? A. So far, so good. Everybody good with that? All right. Now, we already said we're going to divide the exponent by what? 2. Now, just so you know, what's underneath the radical is called the radicand. All right. I won't be saying that much. All right. But sometimes when you're talking to someone and you're saying what's underneath the radical, you don't have to say what's underneath the radical. All right. So that's it. All right. Now, back to the important stuff now. All right, back to the important stuff. All right. Again, these were kind of what we did yesterday, so I'm feeling like this should be pretty good.
I have a joke. What do you call an almost radical? A rad-ish.
Thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
All right, the square root of 4 is what? 2. Square root of 16. Square root of, or negative square root of 100. Negative 10. All right. Square root of a to the 8th. A to the 4th. And then, wait, I'm on number 6, right? Oh, I skipped 5. Sorry. W to the 6th. Now go down to 6. A to the 3rd. B to the 5th. Number 7 would be what? 3A. Number 8.
Negative 9.
8. 30 seconds.
There you go. Again, you can see how they can kind of throw you off a little bit. Remember, all of your exponents are divided by 2. All of your exponents are divided by 2. All right. So number 9 would be what? Beautiful. Over here, number 10. Beautiful. All right. So again, just a pattern, easy as that. All right. Nothing to it. All right. Nothing to it at all. Yes. That's what I said. Thank you. 7. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? All right. Now, let's take a look at question number 20. Now, this is the new stuff. All right. This is the new stuff. All right. I want you to take a look at the square root of 20. Now, we don't know what the square root of 20 is. All right. We do not know what the square root of 20 is because it's not a perfect square. So what we are doing is we are taking, or we are breaking it down into whatever the perfect square is. All right. So what perfect square is in 20? What perfect square is in 20?
Oh, wait. Sorry. I thought you
That's okay. 4 times 5. Let's start with that. All right. So if we're at the square root of 20, all right, I want you to break it down to 4 times 5. All right. Now, the square root of 4 is what? 2. So here we go. We have 2 radical 5. Now, listen for just a second. The square root of 4, all right, you already know is what? 2. So basically what we're doing each time is we are looking for the perfect square that's in that radical, all right? So again, what they're doing here is they're just showing how you're breaking it down 4 times 5. I just personally think it's easier to just go ahead and write it as the square root of 4 times the times 5. All right. Now, just to show you now, quickly look at question number 2. All right. If you're looking at question number 2, all right, square root of 27 is not a perfect square. All right. Since 27 is not a perfect square, you got to figure out what perfect square is in 27. All right. Now, 9 times 3 is what? 27. Everybody with me? All right. So you're breaking 27 down. You're breaking 27 down to 9 times 3. Now, the reason why we're doing that is because now we know the square root of 9 is what? 3. You pull that out because that is the perfect square. Then you leave what? 3 behind. All right? So again, you're going to start to look at numbers differently now. If it's not a perfect square, you've got to try to find the largest perfect square that is a factor of that number. All right? Let's take a look at square root of 48. Now, most people look at 48 and say that's 4 times 12. All right? So I want to show you something. All right? 48 can be broken down into 4 times 12. And then the square root of 4 is what? 2. So now I have 2 radical 12. But we have a little bit of problem because 12 also has a what? A perfect square in there. All right? So if I look at 12, that's 4 times 3. Does everybody agree with that? Now I can break 4 down into 2. There's already a 2 on the outside, agreed? So if 2 is on the outside, then 2 times 2 radical 3, which is the same as 4 radical 3. Now, hopefully somebody would say, well, the reason he says look for the largest square root is because it just makes the problem easier. 48 is what? 16 times 3 also. So if we recognize it as 16 times 3, then what's the square root of 16? So there you have it, 4 radical 3. If you don't recognize the largest perfect square, it's going to take you more time, all right, to get there. So bear with me on this. All right? Any questions? All right. So here we go. Number 4. What's the largest perfect square you see in 45? Now, 3 times 15 is 45, but neither one of those are perfect squares. You have to choose 5 and 9. So what you're going to do is you're going to change 45 to 9 times 5. Square root of 9 is, so there you have it, 3 radical 5. All right. Really kind of easy. All right. Let's check out number 5. Square root of 12 is the same as, definitely not 6 and 2, 4 and 3.
3 and 5.
All right. Here we go. Square root of 4. So your answer is 2 radical 3. All right. Nope. Simple. All right. Take a look now at question number 6. 5 and 10 do not work. Either one of those is a perfect square. 25 and 2. All right. So your final answer is 5 radical 2. All right. Because they're radical. All right. Yes.
Question: if you like know the answer, do you have to put?
Well, eventually, listen. You're going to look at them differently, but you're learning. So to me, right now, I prefer that you tell me what perfect square you see. But some of them are a little bit harder. You'll see as we move down the page. All right. Now, we're going to talk about a to the 5th, because 5 does not divide by 2 evenly. You all agree with that? So now you have to break that down. All right. So you would break it down as a to the 4th times a to the 1st. Because a to the 4th times a to the 1st is a to the 5th. Very good. So now you can tell me what's the square root of a to the 4th. Right. So your answer is a squared, and a is left behind. Any questions with that? I'm agreeing with you. All right. Just a different style. Just a different style. Take a look at number 8. So we're going to break x to the 9th down into x to the what? 8 and x to the 1st. Now, obviously, you don't have to put x to the 1st. I'm just doing it as a point to show you that 8 plus 1 is 9. All right, that's what I'm doing. All right. Now, what's the square root of x to the 8th? So your answer is x to the 4th radical x. What does it matter?
It's this time when it's like.
What are we talking about here? Right? A lot of people make the mistake and just put down x to the what? 3rd. That is the absolute most common mistake. All right? Because they think the exponent has the same property as a number. The exponent does not have the same property as a number. All right? If you have an odd exponent, you have to break it down. All right? That's what you have to do. All right? So now, let's take a look at number 9. So number 9 we'd rewrite as, which is the same as x radical x. X radical x. Or x square root of x. All right, anybody have any questions with that? Nobody? All right, so here we go. Now, again, you're just recognizing the perfect square. What's the perfect square in 18? 9 times 2. All right, so we're going to come down here. 9 times 2, square root of 9. So there you have it, 3 radical 2. 125. 25 times 5. Square root of 25 is 5 radical 5. Are we okay with that? All right, here we go on number 3. Yes, now everybody put a star by number 3 because 9 times 8 is generally the ones that people see the most. But of course, I don't want you to see 9 times 8. I would prefer that you see. No. Very good. 36 and 2. All right, the reason why you want to look at 36 and 2 because 36 is the largest perfect square. All right, if you choose 9 times 8, you're going to have to break 8 down. All right, so the square root of 36 is what? So there you have it, 6 radical 2. Any questions? All right, number 4, 180. Of course, everybody knows 180 is 36 times 5. So that's a common problem as well, 36 times 5. All right, so when you break that down, 36 times 5, the square root of 36 is 6 radical 5. Beautiful. Do they have any questions? Yes. You could do 90 and 2 if you want, but neither one of those is a perfect square. You could do 20 and 9, but then you have to break 20 down. Let me show you that just to make sure, because most kids, like I said, don't see 36 and 5. I'm just telling you, you should. All right, but now look at 180. Let's just say you were, you thought 9 times 20 was better. So now you have 3 radical 20. Now I have to break 20 down into what? 4 times 5. What's square root of 4? There's a 3 outside. 3 times 2 is 6, radical 5. Same answer. Just took me a little bit longer to get there. So it doesn't matter if you pick the smallest radical. It's going to take you time to get there, that's all. All right? A cubed, you're going to break down to a squared times a. So a radical a would work. All right? Let's take a look at 6. B to the 7th breaks down to b to the 6th times b to the 1st. So my final answer is? Yep. Everybody okay with this? Yes, sir. Is it what? So what do you want me to do? For which one? No, because remember, again, the mistake I'm trying to get you to get into your head is anytime it's odd, you're going to break it down to an even and an odd because you're dividing by 2. So you could do 4 and 3, but then you have to break 3 down. Right? I'm not saying 3 is a perfect square. I'm saying if it's an exponent, you have to break it down. All right? More practice, you'll be fine. So m to the 11th, we would break down to m to the and m to the 1st. Then you would say m to the 5th radical m. All right, are we okay with that so far now? All right, so let's take a look at question number 8. All right, now you have to break down the number and the variables. All right, not too difficult because 75 is. Yep, so we're going to break it down to 25 times 3, x to the 6th x, y to the 4th y. So far, so good with that. And now what? And now I'm highlighting the perfect squares. So the square root of 25. Come on, help me. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of x to the 6th. X to the 3rd. Y to the 2nd. Square root. 3 what? 3xy. Any questions? All right. Number 9. 9 and 3. A to the B to the. Are we happy with that? Square root of 9. A to the B to the. What's left behind? 3ab. That's why sometimes it's good if you highlight so you can see what's left behind. All right. Let's take a look at 10. Uh-oh. What's the largest perfect square in 32?
16 and 2.
Yeah, good. Not 8 and 4. 16 and 2. So we're going to break that down to 16 times 2, a to the... Do I break down b to the 4th? No, that's already a perfect square, so we leave it alone. All right. Square root of 16. Square root of a to the 6th. Square root of b to the 4th. Square root. Is there a b? No b. Agreed? B to the 4th is a perfect square. There's no b's left behind. Right? What I'm trying to show you here is that works. That's a perfect square. That's a perfect square. 2a is left behind. Agreed? Because what's the square root of b to the 4th? That's why it's in the front. What do I leave over? You see what I'm trying to show you, Walker? I'm trying to show you this. There is no b left over. There was a what? A left over and a 2 left over. Right? There is no b. All right? So, 11. What's the answer to 11? 3a to the 4th. That is the answer. The reason it's the answer is because 9 is a perfect square and a to the 8 is a perfect square. Everybody good with that? 12. How do I break 45? And then a to the a. And then the square root of 9. Okay with that? You're good. Leave it alone. All right. Here we go. Six xy cubed. How about that? Everybody good?
Why isn't it like x squared?
What?
Why is the x, what about the other x?
I don't know what you mean. You're dividing exponents by 2. Hello? You good with that now? All right, here we go. 12, I have to break down to what?
4 times 3, x.
Exactly. You don't have to break those down. All right, so your final answer is what's left? Is everybody happy with the 3 being left? Everybody good? All right. What perfect square is in 200? 200. Boy, guys, that was weak. 200. 100 is a perfect square.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Final answer.
10 radical 2.
What?
Sorry,
Negative 10 radical 2. So far, so good? All right. Let's check out 16. Everybody knows the square root of 196 is? Good. 14. 13 for those of you guys who do not know. All right. What's the largest perfect square in 63? 9 times 7, x to the 4th, y, 3x squared, square root 7y. What about, which one of those is a perfect square? Right, again, you can break it down, but you got to try to make sure that you're breaking down to a perfect square. Everybody good? All right, let's check out 18. Can 6 be broken down? Very good. No. All right, 6 is 2 times 3. Which one of those is a perfect square? Neither one. So can 6 be broken down? No, it does not. So here we would say the final answer is? X. X, radical 6x. Easy, I told you. What do you want? You're kind of confused. All right, let's see. Well, what do you want to break it down to? So which one of those is a perfect square, 2 or 3? 2 is a perfect square? Not really. All right. Good? All right. Sometimes, remember, the number doesn't have to break down. All right? Now, let's take a look at 19. This one should be pretty easy. Is 100 a perfect square? Yes. So just x to the 4th, x, y. So the final answer is 10x squared radical xy. Any issues? Any issues? That's easy, I told you. All right. 80. How do I break 80 down? Definitely not 8 and 10. Say it again. 16 and 5 for those of you guys who care. 80, 16 times 5, x to the 100, y to the 48, y to the first.
Why not 7 and 7? What about 7 and 7?
Oh, how many times have we had this conversation? All right, here we go. So your final answer is, who's got me? 4, x to the 50th, y to the 24th, radical.
5x.
What?
5y.
5y. All right. Now, everybody take a look at, hey, everybody look at 20 now. All right. Again, that is a common question because when you look at 100, you look at 49, you're thinking perfect square. You're not. Exponents, remember, you're dividing exponents by 2. If it's not divisible by 2, you have to break it down. All right. Now, here we go. Next. All right. Again, because you guys are getting pretty smart, all right, what we want to do is if you are good at breaking things down mentally, that's what I want you to do. That's where I want you to be at. So when somebody says, what's the square root of 64, you're just going to tell them it's what? 8. Now listen to me. On question number 2, if I say, what's the negative square root of 18, no thought should come to your mind. You should be able to look at that and just say, that is obviously negative 3 radical 2. All right? Now, some of you guys who can't do that yet, you didn't see the perfect square in 18, which is what? What? 9. The square root of 9 is what? 3. The 2 is left behind. All right? 32 is a common problem. We already know what that is. That is what?
62.
Thank you. For those of you guys who have short-term memory problems, that is okay. Get out your math facts in a flash and get busy.
Oh, I hate it though.
Math
facts in a flash.
All right. Square root of 32. Break it down to 16 times 2. All right. Here we go.
25 and 2.
No, listen. From now on, we don't have to say it's 25 and 2. You're just going to talk to me like you just see it. Exactly. 5 radical 2. All right.
I just figured out you can type that.
Square root of 400. Square root of 400. Hello? 20. How do you not know that? 20. Square root of x to the 6th.
X to the third.
X to the 3rd. Anybody have any issues? All right, here we go. Number 7. I prefer that you just tell me what the answer is.
X cubed radical X.
Wow, finally, only 50 problems. Very good. All right. Number 8. Hold up. Walker, what's number 8?
Number 8. Number 8 is 2. 2x to the x to the 8.
Okay, why do you think it's 2?
Because
The square root of 16 is?
square root 4. Okay, so
4x to the 8. Very good. All right, here we go. Number 9. Aspen, what do we got?
We have
Just tell me the answer.
no.
Slow down.
Almost there. Oh, 3x cubed. No, 3x squared. I got it.
Think for yourself. The boys are never right. Come on.
You always have to fix your messes. Give me a second. Mistakes. No. Wait a minute.
Aspen, you really want help from the boys? All right, boys, help her out.
3x to the 4th radical x.
Thank you. Wow.
That's not fair. I was thinking in my head.
Yeah. We could tell. We could tell. All right, boys are very good at reading girls' minds. All right, here we go. Number 10. Who's going to give that a shot?
No.
All right, here we go. No, definitely not over here. Hold up. Here we go. What is it again? I'm listening. 2x to the 4 radical 10. Anybody believe that garbage?
Yes.
Of course. Uh-oh. Aspen does not agree.
Aspen.
Challenger in the
Wait,
ring.
he actually thinks it is -3.
What is it?
No, wait, never mind.
Never mind.
-3.
All right.
Radical.
Zoe
I got it.
has been kind of quiet, so let's see why she is quiet.
I got it.
Zoe, give us the answer to number 11.
Wait, Zoe's actually been quiet.
Oh, she had it.
Quiet. Come on, Zoe, give it your best shot. I promise.
I got it.
5.
Told myself.
Slow down.
5.
Is not part of the answer.
Oh, I know it is. 5x squared radical x.
5x what?
Squared.
Very good. 5x cubed radical x.
No, that's not it.
Yes,
it is.
All right.
Zoe, it's
Caden, here we go. 12.
I disagree.
I don't.
We're on, this is number 12. If you want, you can just look up there on the board. Good. Wow, I'm good. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. Everybody okay with 2x squared radical 3x? Who's having a problem?
Of course yes.
Divide by 2. You divide exponents by 2. All right, we'll go slow for you one last time, Zoe. Real slow. Here we go. 12 is 4 times 3. X to the 5th breaks down to x to the 4th times x.
4 times 3
Take the square root.
I'm a little
Square root of 4 is what?
2.
Square root of x to the 4th.
Oh! Yeah, I still don't get my problem, but that's okay.
You good? You doing the next one? Yeah, no. Let's go, Kate. Oh, wow. What is this one?
I know AB squared.
What?
AB squared.
Not 80b squared.
AB squared.
AB squared.
Yeah,
All right. Let's let the fun continue. Number 14. Oh, come on. Don't embarrass me again.
7a to the 4th x to the 6th.
Say that again.
7a to the 4th x to the 6th.
Henry actually
Brilliant.
got something right.
Okay, 15. Who's up for 15? Go.
So 2x
Don't say x to the 3rd either.
to the 4th.
Good.
Y. You okay, buddy?
Then what?
And then radical sign
Hey, hey.
x, y,
What? You said 2x to the 4th y cubed. I was interrupted. What's left? Under the radical. How did you break 28 down?
Oh, 7.
So the final answer is, say it one more time, loud.
X to the 4th, y to the 3rd, 7x.
You are brilliant. Very good. Easy as that. All right. Now, listen. Please do me a favor. Cross out 21.
Yeah.
And then, listen, your homework is to finish 1 through 20. And then 1 through 20 on the next page.
No.
Zoe, you need to practice. No whining.
Exactly. That's why I don't want to do it.
All right. You're on. So here we go, guys. Your job. Finish up 1 through 20 on this page, and then slide down 1 through 20 on the next page.
Oh, gosh.
Go, get some.
Go, Power Rangers.